Thank you. All right, everybody, we're back with the wonderful, amazing high vibe Zoe.
Oh,
How
I
are
like
you?
this. I like high vibes though.
Yeah,
That's really
I
nice.
do too.
I like that name. Okay, yeah.
Me too. And we haven't seen each other in forever because I've been so busy. And um, finally, I get to have her back, and we haven't caught up. So we figured, hey, what the hell? Let's wing it and let's have a good time. And that's it. That's really the end of that. So,
We're just here. We're
I'm
just here hanging out.
yeah, exactly. We're just hanging out, and I'm sure that we'll end up talking about lots of stuff that everybody else is, wondering or talking about. So, just super excited to just to catch up with you
I
and
know.
see how you've been doing.
I've
So,
been crazy. I've been good.
tell me all about it.
It's always crazy. My life is like I've just come to accept the like rotating door that is my life here. Like trying to be in flow. Who was I talking to about this? I was talking to somebody about this like yesterday. Oh, about like the elasticity that you need to be like okay in this matrix, like how flexible you have to be, just because it's it's like in flux. It's always like, oh, this morning even I was like, the change is the constant of this third dimension, but it's exhausting. I was like it's so exhausting unless you just completely like, get with the whole.
Don't give a shit, basically.
Exactly. I'm not attached to any of it. I'm just
No.
observing. I'm just,
Yeah.
yeah. If you hold like an expectation, so then I get into like these like long philosophical inner dialogues with my guides and with my higher self. Is like, so should we manifest anything? Does it even matter? Like, should we even like ask for certain things if none of it really matters? You know what I mean? But I think that it definitely, definitely matters. Like, we're given these desires and these preferences for.
Absolutely, and that's why we came here to one of the things we came here to do is, as Dolores Cannon had said, was to master energy and to learn how to be the creator that we are. So, heck, when you are manifesting, you are being the master creator that we all are.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think we're here to do that.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, you totally bounce back and forth between like, do I want something? Doesn't matter. Do I want something? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I get it, but I can still kind of want it. You know what I mean? Like it's all still like in flux, like this whole world is. But I think like Dolores Cannon said, she probably said it very eloquently. This world, like people always ask me in an alien's natal chart, like what does the earth represent? Like if a Pleiadian was doing their birth chart,
Mm.
how like Jupiter, Saturn all represent stuff, like what would the earth be in like a different
Oh, to a
Pleiadian.
play.
Yes,
Okay.
Pleiadian, like would the earth represent like, Jupiter represents wisdom and Saturn represents growth and challenges, and what earth is seems like the theme or the essence of this place is like growth,
Yeah.
right? Is just like a playground. I always get that image of like a sandbox, like it's whatever you want it to be. It can be like so much fun, or it can be like hell in the sand, you know what I mean? But it's
Yep.
just about like where you're at with it. And it's really just you that has to change. And that's like the kicker.
That
And
is.
right
That
when
is. To change your outside, you have to change your inside.
right. And nobody wants to do that. And even
No.
like with the whole Wiccan vibe and the whole like this the spell casting and the good light witch and the bad witch, or the people that the Celts and the Druids and the people who manipulate earth magic and stuff like that, it's all kind of like to an end. You know what I mean? It's all like using, even with alchemy, it's like all like using certain materials to create a desired effect, right? But then it's still like you that has to change to get that effect. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's still like you can do all the binding spells you want, like how long, and all the black magic and all that other stuff to affect somebody negatively or to make somebody bend to your will,
Mhm.
and it'll work, but you pay for it. Like you always pay for
Absolutely.
it, and you pay for it like extra.
Well, think about it. So that person is you. So you are putting black magic on yourself.
Exactly. And then you're like slapping yourself in the face over and over again until you just don't get it.
Yeah.
I think the biggest loophole that most people in these kind of practices don't see is you are free game. Like you can do whatever you want to yourself. Like stop messing with other people, right? And start doing the spells on yourself. Like you can do whatever you want. So if you want to be like in love with the person, instead of saying like I want to bind that person to me or I want to make him love me, how about I change me to be the person that he wants? Right? Or like I can change my frequency to be more magnetic to his frequency or something like this. Like
Hmm.
instead of looking at it from like I have to affect my world, even though I do that all the time because I'm still I still like I feel like I have these telekinetic moments, like little spasms of telekinesis, and I'm always like trying to like I can do this. I can like move stuff with my mind. I'm like I don't know. I'm
You
having fun.
can. That's absolutely something that we all can do if we practice.
Right.
If we practice.
Right.
Absolutely.
And then like I always get these like Matrix flashbacks of that movie when they're like don't try to bend the spoon, just become the spoon. Or like know that you are the spoon.
You are the spoon, but it's true.
Sitting there with spoons, like trying to like, and it's not working, like because I'm just trying to push it away from myself.
Yes.
Um,
I've tried. I've tried. I can't do it.
I had a spoon bending party. Like we had like a virtual party of everybody with their spoon. Like staring at these spoons, like trying to like focus all our energy into spoons. People are like, mine is getting hot. Like it's probably because it's like under your finger, all of these little, I don't know. But then we have like these moments where something does happen that keeps like pulling us along and like, okay, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. Right now it just seems like infuriating, but we're
It
getting there.
is. It is. And but I think I figured it out pretty close now. And what I have figured out, Zoe, is that if what you put your focus on grows.
Mhm.
So now I am focused on financial freedom, right? Not ever, ever, ever having to worry about money ever again. Okay.
Yeah.
And being able to do whatever the heck I want to do, travel the world as much as I can without worrying about money.
Right.
So, what I have decided to do is literally 24/7 putting my attention on it. Like now, when I walk, I imagine thousands of dollars falling on me. If I'm driving, I imagine thousands of dollars falling on me from my car. If I'm in my bedroom and I wake up, I'm like, oh, here they come, and here's thousands
Are
of
you
dollars.
catching them? This is key. Are you catching them or are they just falling through?
They're just falling. Like I have so much, I don't need to touch it. Like, so many.
It
Like
just keeps coming. All the
it just,
money.
yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And concentrating on the house and the houses I'm going to have here and the house there and what is it going to look like. Oh, it's going to have this, and it's so I'm flooding the energy towards this one goal.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, and it's going to be amazing. And I'm telling
You're not
you,
pretty sure. You're gonna make it happen.
it, it,
It's gonna
it
happen.
it's I am 95% there. Okay.
That's
So
a big percent.
yeah. And it's because I sat down and I said, okay, this is my job. My job right now is to concentrate and put all of my energy to this one thing. So
Mhm.
now it's gotten to the point now when I'm thinking, I don't think negative thoughts anymore. I'm thinking about the house that I'm going to get, and I'm thinking about the jet I'm going to get, and thinking about this, and I'm thinking. So I've changed my mindset now to
Well, I want to come
totally,
on the jet. I
yeah,
want to be on the jet.
uh-huh. You can have your own jet.
Oh, we can fly side by side
Yes.
in the jets. I'm so there. Let's get it. Let's go. I'm with it.
So that's what I've decided to do. I've decided to play the game of creation, the game of
Oh, good.
energy. And now I am funneling every second that I have to what it is that I want to manifest, which
Yeah,
means to the universe, I'm already there. So it has no choice
right,
but to give me that energy, to give me that which I am putting my energy on.
right. And this energy, this matrix isn't conducive to high vibrations like that. So you're always gonna get like pulled back down and then have to like pick yourself back up with the doubt
Right.
and the
But
fear
that's
and the
the thing,
shame.
is because I am such a high vibration all the time, I don't get pulled back anymore.
Good.
I don't. Literally, if so I posted before we got on, I posted this video. I've been trying to sell my RV
Hmm.
for since April.
I need an RV.
Yeah.
I
You
need
need
one.
one?
I
Well,
do.
too late because I
You
sold
just
it.
manifested me. Good. Okay.
So Monday, I whispered these words that I saw in this video. Three sentence, one sentence, and you repeat it 3 times. That afternoon, I got a text. Somebody is interested in your RV.
Oh,
That
good.
was Monday. I sold it today. They
Good.
drove away in my RV today. So that's how powerful we are.
Yeah. The quantum field is listening. It's waiting to hear what you're talking about. That's like why the Pleiadians are always like reinforcing, like your words are so powerful. But we've spent our life just like blah, 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 like regurgitating
Yep.
crap all the time. That to rein that in is like to have that awareness of everything we say is coming true is so tiring to us. It's like it's too much. I want to be sarcastic. I have my weird sense of humor, right? Like sometimes I like to tell people to go fuck themselves or whatever it is, like it's just like, and you're like, I'm creating this. That sound never disappears. That energy never disappears. That like
Hmm.
all those, that one time you say that awful thing, it still just exists in your Akashic records forever. Like forever. It like, doesn't go anywhere. So like
Right.
to live that way is a complete lifestyle change. And it has like, there's just a lot of inertia in the conditioning. But I love the way that you've like applied yourself to that. I was talking to a client like last week about, she's like, how do you attune? We're calling in some of her future selves. And she kept trying to figure out how to do it. Like, I can feel them. I see these parallels. I get little glimpses of parallel realities that are that I'm slipping in and out of. But like, how do I call the lifetime or the parallel that I want to experience? And I was like, just vibrate the feeling, like our emotional bodies, the things that we always like, I hate this, I hate having emotions, I hate being human. In this reality, in this dimension, emotions are magic and they're meant to be like kind of mastered. You're not supposed to be
Yes.
a slave to them, but you're supposed to
Yes.
utilize them, right? You can use like
Yes.
that massive energy field of grief or the massive energy field of rage or love or attachment, whatever it is, you can like generate this kind of um, different alchemical element within you and apply it with intent towards something. And if you can tap into a parallel or a future self that is maybe having an experience that you really want to experience, like you don't want to live this timeline anymore, you want to experience that one, you have to start feeling like that one. Just feel it. Just feel the
Exactly.
emotion of that being. If you're an empath, you have that link, right? You're able to tune into a feeling and you start vibrating that feeling. And most empaths say that it's like a detriment. They're like, I go outside and I get depressed and anxious because it's so heavy. But if you're an empath, you should be able to apply to any emotion.
Hmm.
Be able to kind of be receptive and feel the emotion of a billionaire or the emotion of like a lottery winner or the emotion of a really blissed out joyous person. It doesn't always have to be the heavy stuff. If you're an empath and you're just experiencing the heavy stuff, I think something's wrong. You're not empathing right. Like you're supposed to go hang out with happy people and like just like, use that to your advantage. But like,
Yes.
yeah, you can just vibrate at the feeling that you feel like that you has, and then you'll just time slip. That's literally what time travel is. You just like flip into that parallel, things start like falling into place that's in alignment with your feeling. But figuring that out is not easy.
No. No.
It's not
No.
easy. You figured it out. You're just like,
Yes.
I wake up in a money shower.
I do. I do.
I'm driving through a money shower. My life is just a shower of money. Like, I love it.
Yeah, and it's like, wow, there's so much here. I can't even get out of bed. Like, so much money. I have so much money. What am I doing with all this money that's sitting on my bed, Like just I have fun with it. There was one time I saw myself with a wand and
Yeah.
I'd be like, I want a couch there. I want a and I ding 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 ding. Like I just started having fun with the experience and I feel like that's helped immensely
Oh yeah.
because when you make it funny like that, it you get into that vibe, into that feeling, right? What you
Yeah.
wanted is that feeling. So it's just
You turned
yeah,
nothing into something. You turn nothing into something. That's literally what alchemy is. You just
yeah.
like can make it funny instead of making it heavy. I think a lot of people are manifesting from a place of I don't have it. Right? Like,
And that's why it's never gonna come.
right. I need love. I need money. I need love. I need money. I need love. I need money. That's it. That's all it really
If
is
you
on
tell the
earth.
universe you need it or want it, it means you
Right.
don't have it.
I don't have love. I don't have
You
money.
don't have it.
Yeah.
So
It's
it gives you more of I don't
yeah.
have, because
The
that's what
quantity
you're
field is
putting
like,
out.
here you go. Here's the experience of lack that you asked for. Download. Here you go. You're like, thanks. Thanks, universe. No. Like nobody this place really needs to come with an instruction book.
It does.
I swear. It's just like, no, just like be what you want to be. If you want to be rich, be rich. Just like start acting rich and start spending your money like an idiot. It'll keep coming back to you because you're like you're in that vibration. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
it,
if you're gonna start spending it like crazy, you have to make sure you are already at that point where you're so high vibe that nothing can bring you down.
yeah, that you're not scared of it. You're not gonna be like,
Yes.
I hope this doesn't backfire. You're just like freely like, here you go, it's coming back. It's fine. Here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Absolutely.
yeah, but
Absolutely.
you know what we're up
So
against.
Dennis has a good question for you. What about when people vomit their emotions all over you? What do
I
you
love
do?
this.
So nicely put.
It is. I know these people. I know these vomiting people. They're like desperate for healing. Whenever somebody is like to the point where they're like
So true.
yeah, when they're yelling at you or banging, like kind of like a kid, like, pay attention to me, I'm so sad, or I'm so
Mhm.
this, or whatever. Sometimes, like, you're contracted to heal. Sometimes you're not. Sometimes those people are very like gaping black holes of energy and they'll never stop accepting any light that you're giving them and can like drain the crap out of you. It's always boundaries in a polarity
Well,
planet. It's always like,
I also feel like their lessons is they could be lessons. They could be people that are teaching, that are there to teach you how to put barriers up, how to send them love.
mhm,
Everything that you create in your reality, because trust me, you're creating those people that are vomiting their emotions all over you. Why are you creating that? Sit down and really try to understand why is this happening, and then you can say, okay, I feel like I'm needing to learn how to love this person, or needing to learn how to love myself and walk away. Sometimes these people are there to teach you a lesson. Are you strong enough to walk away? Maybe are you um somebody who needs to heal that within yourself, right?
yeah.
So look within. Is it maybe something that's within you that you need to heal?
What
So
is the emotion? I
yeah.
wonder, Dennis, what is the emotion that's being vomited on you? It's that's a good one because that would indicate like what you need to pay attention to. Yeah, if something's like desperate for your attention enough that it's regurgitating on you, that's something from within. I was telling this to my kid yesterday. It was like, like mommy's not real and your brother's not real and your dad's not real.
Oh my god, you're confusing them already.
He loves it. No, he's with it. Like my 8-year-old is like, I get it.
Oh,
I'm
your
like,
8-year-old. Okay,
like I'm
okay.
here, but Charlie's like in Charlie's own world. He's like, I already know. But
Yeah.
my 8-year-old is like, yes, he's like hungry for this stuff. He's like, tell me more. So I'm like, we are all the same thing playing a game. So your consciousness right now is in a simulation where you're bringing up these characters and you're bringing up like the elements of the character. And every time mommy gets on your nerves, that's you asking mommy to get on your nerves.
Yes.
Like every time I like tell you to brush your teeth and you hate it, or I like tell you to turn off the TV and you hate it, that's really orchestrated by you. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, like that's really your higher self saying, like, we got something else to do, or like we got to take care of these teeth, or like we got, we can't stare at YouTube for 48 hours. This isn't good for us. Wait, you have he's coming in.
Charlie?
He's like, are you talking about me? No, Charlie's not here. If
Oh, okay.
Charlie was here, he'd be like all up in the thing.
Yep.
It's just the big one. But he's like,
Oh.
he gets all philosophical about this stuff. It's totally, yeah,
Wow.
really, he's like, he likes to meditate. Well, he likes for me to guide him in meditation, and like he always wants to go find dragons and stuff like that. And, like, yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Yesterday we were at the playground. This is really funny. So yesterday we were at the playground. It was like hot. Jackson was calling it the fiery pit of heck because he couldn't say the other word. He said heck instead of hell, and he was like, "We're in the fiery pit of heck. Can we get out of here?" And Charlie was having a lot of fun up on the slide, and we're like sweating buckets on the bench watching Charlie. And he was like, "How do we get his attention?" I was like, "Use your telepathy." And he was like, "How do I do it?" And I was like, "Just close your eyes and send a message to your brother saying like we're ready to go." And then so he starts going like this. He like he's like pointing at his head. He's like closing his eyes as hard as he can. And the wind starts picking up like around us. It starts getting like all of a sudden it gets really breezy. And I was like, I think you're doing it, Jack. I think you're doing it. And he was like, just keep going. And so he's like squinting as hard as he can. And Charlie starts going, Mom, like on the slide, like he's like listening to something. And then he like slides down the slide and ran towards us. I was like, you did it. And I was like, you got your brother to come here. And I was like, what were you sending him? And he's like, I was saying bye-bye, Charlie. And he was like in my head, I was saying bye-bye, Charlie. And then and I was like, Charlie heard you, because he started saying mom, and like started like coming towards you. And then I was like, wasn't that so cool that you did telepathy? Jack, you can't come in. You can't come in. I know, that's a weird outfit. Not right now. He put on like a full plaid outfit. I don't know. He's like, you guys are talking about me. This is for me.
He can feel it.
So that was really cool. But then he was like over it. He was talking about something else. I was like, wasn't that so cool? You connected telepathically with your brother.
You created that. That's amazing.
You got him to come towards us, and he was like, I'd rather talk about Minecraft or something. I don't know. Or like, he just like dismissed it and moved on to the next thing. I was like, okay, I can't win. This.
Oh my God.
But yeah, the little ones, they like this stuff. They like this information. They like hearing the
They
truth.
probably resonate with like as truth in their heart. It's probably
Mhm.
resonating with it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being able to like wrestle with these kind of concepts about your reality from 8, like I would love that if I wasn't like battling all these programs all the time in my head about this place.
So what happens with when he goes to his dad and he says that? Like,
Oh God, I don't even.
Mom told me this. Like, do you ever hear from his dad? Like, what the hell are you telling him?
He never says anything. Not yet. I know he knows he's like, I'm not supposed to talk about being an alien. Or like he knows it's like
Okay.
something that's kind of covert. I think he like asked his dad like little sideways questions, because he'll be like, Dad says he believes in extraterrestrial life. And I'm like, okay, that was unprompted. Where'd that come from? Like, why did you tell me that? So I guess he's like prodding his dad for information. But since he was little, he's been like this with his father. He's been like explaining to his dad that like God exists and that he talks to God. Since Jack was little, he's been doing that.
Wow.
These children they blow me away. They blow me away. How are your little ones?
Little.
Well, the ones that you created.
Well, anywhere from 19 to 30 years old, they are doing well, although they don't believe what I believe. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes my daughter gets a little attitude.
Okay.
about certain things. So I've resorted to kind of just not saying anything and letting her find out the way I did, right? Through
Good.
books and through things that happened to her and through things like that. So I've kind of just left it alone.
Yeah,
My youngest is starting to see things the way that I see them, so that's been kind of very refreshing.
interesting.
Yeah, but still the ET, UFO thing is still a yeah right kind of thing. So
Okay, that's
yeah.
fine. It's hard to
But
be
it's
accepting.
the way it's supposed to be, right? Like I accept it. I go with the flow right now. Anything that's resistance to me, I just stop. And that's why I stopped doing the hypnosis sessions. It was like I felt a resistance there. And I
Okay.
was like, nope, universe, figure out how you're gonna support me. I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. So anything now that is like, "Ugh," it's like, nope, I'm going this way.
Okay.
Like I'm
Yeah.
no longer allowing for resistance in my life anymore.
Wow. And
Yeah.
this is from the mouth of an earth sign. This is
I
amazing.
know. I've become a pure Pisces. I swear to God.
I love it. I love the being so flexible to whatever happens. I think where I always run into like, is there a balance to this as well? Like should I stand for anything that I want, or should I just let everything kind of just happen? I think
I have to tell you that it's more magical when I just go with the flow.
yeah,
The synchronicities, the people that they put in my life, the things that happen, the everything that happens is so much more magical when I really truly just go with the flow.
yeah.
It's
It's so much
trust
easier.
me, the universe is so much more creative than you.
It is.
So the shit that they're gonna put on you is gonna be so more and much more amazing than if you said, no, I want to do it this way.
I want this
Yeah.
specific. Yeah, I know. It's always so much better when people do activations and they're like, I just want to leave it open to whatever comes through,
Hmm.
right? Or whatever my guides have to give me, or whatever my higher self wants to deliver at this moment. That seems to be really special whenever I'm channeling that kind of energy. And not to say anything against people who want specific things, specific
Right.
healing or help with anything like that. But it's like like you said, it's very magical when it's like kind of left open to just like the quantum field. I like the law of surprise. Sometimes I had a teacher that used to say like scream out into the air like universe surprise me, and that used to make me so nervous. Because
Really?
what? Because I'm like the universe has like a weird sense of humor with me, man, and like some stuff like I just don't think it's funny, but I feel like God thinks it's very funny. Like, so if like I ask for something to a certain end, it will show up in like this very weird way that always makes me expand and grow, which is the point. It's the whole
Right. That
right.
is the whole point.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is so much more magical than we can imagine. And that I have seen because, as you know, being a Virgo, I was very regimented.
Mhm.
It has to be this way, very organized, very planner, planning. I was a project manager for Christ's sake. So my life was planning everything.
Mhm.
And to go completely the opposite way has been a magical journey because I have seen now how much more magical and fun it is when I do that.
Yeah.
When I just let go and I stop hanging on for dear life to something that doesn't serve me anymore.
Right. And that's again that neuroplasticity, that elastic, flexible nature that you need to kind of have to be okay with whatever comes.
Yes.
Right? And we're so neurodivergent, but we get like ingrained in these neuron pathways of habits and subconscious monsters and stuff that like we just keep the same thing with addiction that keeps coming up lately, especially
Mm.
yeah, especially mothers who are suffering with addicted sons. That seems to be like a big theme. And whenever I start seeing waves of the same issue coming my way, I know that this is like some sort of what's
Message for you?
it's a message for me. Of course, it's a message for me, but it's like when I also see this in like with people would ask for when they were asking for certain activations. It would seem like 1 week everybody wants to activate their access to Akashic records, or 1 week everybody wants to activate telepathy, or 1 week everybody wants like womb healing or something. It seems to like come in waves with these things. And now for the past couple months, it's been like a noticeable amount of women who are suffering with children and addiction, and like watching their kid going through an addiction, and what are they supposed to do with that, and like as a mom, you just want to do anything to stop their suffering, right? To help them. And sometimes that's the worst, right? Sometimes that's just keeping it going.
Yes.
The thing that made me finally get myself in the hands of source and in the hands of my guides is when I was cut off from my mom. When my mom was finally like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yep.
I'm going to Ethiopia.
Yep.
You figure it out. And then
Yep.
I was like, and like by myself. I was like by myself, with like a very new Charlie. And I was like, okay. And so I had nobody else to turn to but like higher realms of energy. And that's when I could hear them. And that's when they started like supporting me. Sometimes you're getting in the way by always like helping. What can I do?
Big time. I had to go through that. And what I learned, what my son taught me is you cannot help someone that doesn't want your help.
Right.
And especially with addiction, you offer help. And then once they, luckily his addiction was video games. So it wasn't like a big deal.
One.
It is an addiction, but it's a lot easier to break.
Yeah.
But, it got to the point where he got in trouble with his job because he was playing video games. So then it was like, he got kicked out of my mom's house. So, my ex-husband kicked him out. Then my mom kicked him out. And it was like he was going to have to go to the homeless shelter. And as a mother, I was like, I can't do this to my child. I can't. And I'm like, something was telling me, you have to at least let him go for a couple of days. He has to have some type of like wake up call.
Right.
But again, we were trying to help him, and it wasn't working. It was like banging my head against the wall. Why am I banging my head against the wall? I provided help. I provided love.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing else I can do.
Right.
So it wasn't until that happened to him that I allowed him to take the journey and contract that he had.
Yes.
Because you are not allowing them to take that contract. You're not allowing them.
You're stalling it. You're actually stalling it from working its way through. A lot of, especially people who are watching your channel, if you're a starseed, if you're a light worker, you're giving birth to a starseed and a light worker.
Yep.
If they're going through something like addiction, that's part of their contract.
Yes. Right? Because later on, that will help them in the journey to help other starseeds.
They're going to like go through it so they can overcome it, and then they can break that contract within them and start releasing the healing that they figured out by going through the fire of it. So by kind of cushioning their life, and you're just drawing it out, you know? And I think a lot of the mothers, especially as a mother, you're like,
you feel responsible.
If I kick my kid out and like, you know, I can't sleep. Like, I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to eat. I'm going to be thinking about this all day and night. It's going to make me crazy. So sometimes it's just for you that you're enabling. It's not really for the kid. It's like, for my well-being, I need to know where you are and if you're breathing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I need to, but if you kind of just let them go, it might get worse before it gets better. It probably will get worse.
It might. Yes. But create the reality that you want. When you are doing it, put the energy of this will heal him or this or her, you know, whatever. Just create. You are the creator, and all of those people are in your reality. You put them there for you. So what is it they're teaching you?
Yeah, I'm teaching myself not to be attached to this.
Yes, to be strong, to be brave, to do whatever it is that you need to do.
And it's so hard. It's easier said than done. This morning I was meditating. I do like the same 11-minute meditation every morning. And Charlie left. He was like right by me watching his little tablet, and he left. And I didn't want to stop the meditation. So I was like, meditating and kind of listening out for him. And then he got really quiet. And I was like, oh
Ooh.
God, like in my head, oh my God, I was like going crazy. And then I was like in my head with my guides, and they're like, this is totally a test. Like, you can start catastrophizing and thinking like Charlie's outside with the lawnmower, because that's what I in my head. He was like outside pushing around a lawnmower and like playing in traffic and all the worst possible thing. Like, he got into the knife drawer and like everything, because of the quiet was getting in my head. And then my guys were like, just tune into him. Like, you can tune into him. Where is
Yeah.
he? And when I saw him in my head, he was in the living room playing with the train set. And I, like, for some reason, that was so hard to hold on to, that reality that he's fine. He's just playing quietly downstairs. Like, it's so much easier to go to that, like, he's doing something dangerous. I have to get up and I have to
Yes.
help. Right. Like,
Yes.
and then so like my guides were like, sit here and do this meditation. Like, my higher self was like, do not get up, do not stop, like, hold the thought that he's fine. And he's
Yes. What reality do you want to create with the thought? Because right now time is moving faster. We're manifesting faster. So yeah, that thought literally could create that reality. So
exactly.
that's
So I, like,
exactly what you
saw
want to do.
Charlie in the living room playing with the train set, and I made it like the brightest light possible. And like, I was like pushing out all the dark stuff that I was coming in about it. And then when I finished the meditation, and I was like, I'm still getting up to go. I was like, I'm still gonna go look. And like, as soon as I got to the top of the stairs, he was like, Mom. And I was like, okay, like, this is a joke. Like, because he was totally just playing in the living room. But my mind was giving me like all these horror options. So it was interesting to be aware of this, like from an outside perspective, observing this back and forth in my mind
Yeah.
about like, why is it so easy for me to think worst possible scenario and like not hold on to a really nice scenario, because I'm creating that too. Like, why is it so much
Yep.
easier to think everything's going to shit?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Catastrophic outcome,
Right. To be positive should be easy. It should be the easy
and
thing
it's
to
the
do.
opposite.
It's not. It's
It's
so easy to
way
be.
harder.
It's so easy to be like, I'm gonna be poor and starving in the street, and everybody's gonna hate me, and all that stuff. And saying like, I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be wonderful. I'm gonna be everything that I can never imagine.
Yes.
This reality is bizarre.
It is. It's bizarre. And the more you figure it out, the more freeing it becomes, the
Mhm.
more magical, it becomes.
But
Really.
I'm glad you're doing the hypnosis again, because people were like, I need a regression. My
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to do a whole lot. I really want to concentrate on alien abduction mostly.
good.
But if it's people that I've done it with them before, and I know it's going to be an easy process,
Good.
where I won't have any, it won't be difficult. Then yeah, I'm gonna do it. Sorry, my cat's like wanting to.
Hi, kitty. There's
So
there's a lot of healing still necessary around that, around people who are like kind of um receiving resonance around certain situations that they feel like
mhm.
might have happened to them, but they can't figure it out. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm glad that you're offering that service to them, because that's like that's a hard place to be, to watch people kind of struggle.
yeah. I was told that I that they really were encouraging me to get back to helping people that have gone through that, and I'm like, all right, like I don't mind doing those, right? So yeah, so
Okay.
yeah,
So you're just making like a select focus.
yes,
Oh, that's
yes.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so
So, so yeah, so let's talk about that, because I know that you had taken off your Starseed offering,
Mhm.
and then now it's back. So what's going on with that?
I was guided to put it back. That's
Were
it.
you
I was
okay? So
so I feel like I did like a large batch of star seeds. Like, really, as soon as it was offered, it was just like building, 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 like an avalanche of star seeds, and then it kind of tapered off. And I felt like maybe my contract's up with this. Like, maybe I could do
ah,
others. But no, I'm not. It's not. It's still like coming in waves. Um, but yeah, so offering the starseed reports and the activations again, and the the energies are different. I felt like I was getting like pretty consistent, like the same thing with the waves. I would get like avian waves and Lyran waves and Syrian waves, and then waves from like Alpha Centauri, or like just, like I felt like select groups of people would come to me in bunches and then kind of taper off. And now it seems like a very different kind of energies coming through. A lot of,
Mm.
yeah, a lot of these, I have to do my research and figure out like, what am I looking at? Who am I talking to? Like I've never seen a being that looks like you before. Can't really
Ooh.
having a hard time figuring out what that is. So like back to the drawing board with and being in communication and trying to find reference points and connections, or just like being in grounded and centered and listening and trusting what I'm receiving has been a lot. So I think I'm in a place where I know that is something that will be necessary in the future. Like there's just waves of people waking up all the time. So,
Well,
and
that's good to know.
yeah, that is. I have
That's
hope
good news.
yeah, so that's going to be available. The Starseed report, the avatar drawings are back, and also the mission map is new. That's the new one
Oh,
that I
what is
started.
that?
So I have been reading natal charts and doing astrocartography for like years, but the way that it was presented to me, well, they kept telling me to like go back into my notes and revisit it, and I kept looking at old journals, and I got like slammed in the face with Arcturian energy one day while I was like reading these things. I was like, oh, I felt like they just like cracked open a download in my head, and they were showing me like these lines on the map, are also a lot, are for a starseed from the perspective and the lens of somebody who's here on a mission, can help them with their mission more so than just telling somebody like, this is where you find love, which is what most of my readings are about in the past. This is where you find success. This is where, you might want to avoid this certain area of the world or this and that. They were showing me like these lines are connected to past lifetimes that they've lived on Earth, which are crucial for starseeds to go back and receive the energy and the data and the wisdom held in the grid from there. Or this is, where Lemurian connections can be shown, Atlantean connections can be shown, Egyptian, all the stuff that people are kind of like into now, and even more than that. Like, so a lot of starseeds could be activators or wisdom keepers, or they're healers of certain modalities. A lot of the missions are aligned with healing now because of the massive amount of healing needed on this planet. But every starseed seems to have a certain kind of grid keeper assignment thrown where in their lifetime, like where you're drawn to a certain place of the earth to like give codes to Gaia through your auric field, to receive codes from your auric field. But like, there's grid lines and points and different kind of organization of geometrical shapes all over the planet. And grid keepers clear out Gaia's ley lines. They crystallize Gaia's grid and allow those frequencies to kind of flow through the planet herself. So with the astrocartography, we kind of can see where your energy aligns with the earth for this, like where is someplace you would really need to go to leave some codes, to leave some healing, to receive a healing, where I don't know, it was just like, it blew my mind because it was a whole new way to look at it. And I was just like, this is so exciting, because so many starseeds are lost. Like so many of them are like, I don't know what to believe. I don't know up from down. I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to be doing. So with like an actual map, instead of like, focusing so much on interdimensions and extraterrestrial places, you have magic that's happening on Gaia herself that's fully accessible to you right here. Like you can get it here. And so the map allows you to tune into that and be aware of what that is. So that's cool. I was really excited to get that one going. I just had to like catch up with some stuff before I did. So those 3 are going to be offered now. So I guess we're both back to work.
Yeah, to go back, huh? To go back and revisit some stuff.
No, I mean like you and I are both getting back to work. We're both getting put back on mission work. You're doing your healing with the abductees, and
Yeah.
I'm doing more activating stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Big time. Big time. Very exciting.
It is
So the Starseed readings, are you is it the same as before or have you
yeah.
changed it? Oh,
No,
it's
no,
the
no.
same?
So it's the same. So you'll get a whatever when I do the Starseed report, I like to tune into your energy field, and I use that with the image of your eyes and your hands. And then I just start taking notes about what I'm receiving. And that's what I type up in the report. And when I have your guides, when I can kind of get to your origin and whatever steps forward as your different higher aspect of yourself or your guides that steps forward for you, I will start channeling light language through their energy field for an activation that's specifically for you. So the activation, the Starseed report and activation comes with the report and a light language audio for you to meditate
Mm.
with. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's the
Mhm.
same. It's the same thing.
It's the same. Okay.
Mhm.
And have you added anything else in addition to that? Because I've seen a couple of activations that you've put through
Oh my
in
God,
there.
I have a whole list.
Yeah, a whole stuff of activations that you've put
I have
in
a
there.
whole there's like I've been trying to get to them. There was one day, and this is probably gonna start happening because yesterday was the new moon and we're going into Lionsgate. I think it was when the Sirius portal was open that I just like opened my eyes out of a meditation and I started writing. And it was like a list of activations just came through of like what was necessary. And I'm not like a note taker. I'm like all air sign in my chart. Like I don't take notes. I'll just figure it out. Like it'll just come when it's time to come. I'll just get it. But I was like, no, I need to write this down. Like, I need to write this down. This is a lot. And this is very intense. So I've been like kind of chipping my way through that list. So I've been,
Yeah.
yeah, posting activations like every week or every other week. There's still a lot to go. And some of them are really exciting. But there's new stuff up in the shop. And yeah. Yeah, I can't even remember how many there are now. But I think there's like 15 more to go. If spirit doesn't skip it up.
Wow.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Wow, that's fantastic. So do you feel like are they taking you in a certain direction right now? Anything specific that comes to you that they're doing different or
um, I think I would say it's more nuanced for our community of people than, and not so much like the wealth activation or like the beauty activation, even though there are some interesting physical adjusting codes that are coming through. They do seem like they're more into inner empowerment and awakening spiritual gifts and more aligned in that kind of figuring out how your own light works and removing any blocks that would stop you from that. Because I think the reason why so many starseeds are fascinated with the ability of manipulating subtle energies like the clairsentience and the clairvoyance, and why they get like this hunger for it, is because it's coming. Like that desire kind of pokes its
Mm.
head up in your consciousness when it's starting to awaken in you. So just helping to accelerate that process, because it's a process.
Yeah.
It's a long process. It's never going to be an overnight, like I wake up and I see spirit, or
Like you?
yeah.
Like overnight,
Well,
like for people like you, those
mine
people that I freaking
was
hate because they've had their freaking abilities, like
mine was
they just
suppressed.
show up out
I
of the blue.
suppressed for a long time, and then like at one point it just got ripped off, and I landed myself in a mental hospital. So you don't want to do it like I did it. That was not the easy way to do it. I would love to have that, like, stepped into this, a little with a little more grace and like full crazy, and then like now let me figure it out.
Full crazy.
I went from like 0 to 60 to like, oh, she needs to go away. I don't know what's going on with her. To like, okay, let me like get a handle on this, which I did a lot with yoga. So if anybody is
Good.
watching this and wants to figure out like where's a good place to even start, I would say meditation and yoga. And I think, yeah. So healing addiction is a theme right now. there's still like a lot of heavy stuff on Earth that needs to get fixed.
Mhm.
I love
Mhm.
this meme. There's like a meme online about like a human asking an alien, like, so when are you just gonna come down and hang out on Earth? Are you gonna come down to Earth yet or something? And the ET is like, if we come down, like y'all gotta get cool about a lot of stuff real quick. Like you all have to like start accepting a lot. There's still so much that like makes me jump and makes me nervous. And I'm always in these kind of energy fields. And I still get like, whoa, about stuff that looks alien, that doesn't look like you, that doesn't feel like you.
Ah.
It's still coming from that heart space, only operating from the heart space. This is something that like is resonating love, so I'm here with it. It's hard. It's hard when you grew up here, and it's also like physical, visual. You look weird, you look different, so I assess you based on that.
Mhm.
Right? So moving through all of these energetic blocks, breaking down all of these conditioning programs, shields, whatever that we have self-imposed on ourselves seems to be the theme right now.
Mm.
Your face, you're like, it's a lot.
It is a lot. It is. It is, and I think for me, my addiction was control.
Oh yeah.
My addiction was controlling everything, which comes from having a broken heart from being a child.
Mhm.
Then what you do is you start controlling everything around you so that you don't get hurt.
Right.
So it's a way to
Make
not
it
be
predictable.
disappointed, a way to not get hurt, and that was my addiction. Basically, it was control.
And now being able to like trust that like you're supported and loved by
Right.
the universal field.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
doing it. You're so amazing.
So
You're
are
like an
you.
inspiration. You inspire so many people. I think I hear a lot of people talk about like, and when I'm in session with them about how like some other people and who might be in the same vein of information that you work with
Oh, uh-huh.
kind of can give their audience a hard time, or they feel kind of defeated listening to them, like, how am I ever going to do that, or like it's I have to do this and I have to raise my vibration, I have to keep my vibration high, or like nothing's going to happen, I'm going to get left on Earth and they're going to take the ships away from me and go to like a paradise planet, and like all this, like it's more fear,
It
it's
is.
like more fear mongering. It's more like it's still just not that place that you come from to reach that high frequency. Just making it fun, that's a frequency alchemizer. Laughing is an alchemizer. So like you like I think because you can show people like make it fun, make it happy, make it something aligned with bliss. It gives people a lot of a different perspective than is readily offered online. I'm trying to speak.
To be honest, when I saw myself as a hologram after mother fungus, like you call it, um, after I saw myself as a hologram, that's when I really was like, this is a freaking video game, like basically screw it.
Mhm.
I'm just, if I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it. And whatever the repercussions are, screw it. I don't care. And it was more of like, it's a freaking video game. Why
Right.
am I taking everything so seriously? Like, so that really, that was really huge for me to see myself as a hologram, to see the sky as a hologram,
Yep.
to all of that was so, at least for me, very eye opening that things aren't as serious as we put him out to be. That it's a game.
At all. I know. Last night, my we were brushing our teeth, and my 8-year-old like slammed the water down. He was like, "Don't waste water, mom." I was like, "This isn't real. The water's not real." I was just messing with him, but he's like, "You're right. So I can just go throw all my toys in the trash." I was like, "Do it. Let's see what happens."
Yeah,
Wait, we'll
it-
see.
yeah, absolutely. So that's really when it really hit me, where it was like, what's the worst that can happen? I die. Deal. Like it's
Yeah,
a game,
yeah. You don't go.
right? Like I don't know. I just, that was for me when I was like, I'm not going to take anything seriously anymore. Like,
Yeah,
screw it.
some
Like,
people can flip into a nihilism when they have that realization that you did. When people come into that realization, like, this isn't real, this is all kind of a program, this feels like software, when you have those, when that reality occurs to you, some people slip into like, well, F it, I'm not going to do anything.
right.
You know?
They'll exit the matrix.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'm not going to participate, or I'm going to do whatever I want. I think that the key is to find balance. And if you're here having this experience, if you're here having some sort of mission or some sort of healing, whatever it may be, enjoy it, enjoy it.
Exactly.
Try to have as much fun as you
Yeah, like, say literally, "Fuck it."
can.
Like,
Right.
fuck it. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
That's
Like,
literally it.
yeah, and just
Like,
have
lesson
fun with
one,
it.
just fuck it. Just
Yeah.
it's fine. Just don't take your vibration too seriously.
No,
Don't take yourself, your
don't hammer
husband.
yourself for being in a low vibration. Just don't do it. Just
Right,
moving on. Like, okay, I know better. Let
right.
me and that's it. Just go with the flow. I mean, I'm telling you, that is so I've been so peaceful since that, like going with the flow. And um and
Yeah.
it's funny, I'll tell you this story. So I was starting to freak out about the money situation, um and I was like, what is, so I noticed that they sent me someone to do a session, and then the I was like, okay, there's that some money coming in, and
Mm,
then boom, they canceled. Then somebody said they were interested in the RV, and boom, they canceled. So I was like, wait a minute, there's a pattern here. I'm being given money and being stripped away from me. What is the message? Why is this happening? Why are they like hooking, baiting me with the money and then pulling it out? And I was like, I'm attached to it. I'm attached to the money. I'm
right.
not flowing. So the next time it happened where somebody was interested in the RV, I was like, yeah.
Okay.
And yeah. And then of course it went away. And I was like, yeah. So yeah. So it
Yeah.
was like I started realizing again, I'm very analytical being an engineer. So when something happens to me, I don't go like, oh my God. No, I go like,
Right.
okay,
Observe.
why is this happening?
Yeah.
Like I start logically trying to understand. And because when you ask that question, your higher self will answer.
Yeah.
Something will pop in your head.
It's usually not what you want to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's usually like, because you're attached to money. You're like, well, I want to be attached to money. I think a lot of people want to defend their right to their attachments.
Yes.
So when you start delivering this kind of information, you get a lot of people like, but what about me? And I was a victim to this and that, and this happened to me, and he did this to me, and blah, blah, blah. And that is like, you're not seeing it for what it is, which is
No,
like, he
exactly.
kind of did that all to you,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. What is this beautiful lesson that the universe is bringing to you?
Right.
What is that beautiful lesson? What is it?
Then you'll
And
know.
th-
You'll hear
and yeah, and look at the patterns. Look at if things are repeating. Why? If you keep going out with abusive guys, why? If
Mhm.
you keep attracting abusive guys, why? Like
Right.
start being the observer of the I am.
Exactly.
Become the observer of your life, like you're watching it from up here, like if you were God or whatever.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
you have to like pull yourself out of your addiction to your emotions. So some people
Hmm.
do struggle with that, with becoming neutral, becoming the neutral observer who's not absorbing or getting emotionally attached to the situation. They feel empty, right? They
Hmm.
feel cold. They feel like this is not right. There's something alien or abnormal about not being attached to my family, or
Hmm.
not being attached. That's not right to them. That's like
Right.
morally not
Yep.
right. And there, it's like, well, you just haven't gotten it yet. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you,
Absolutely. And I think those were the hardest sessions I had. The clients that wouldn't let go of, I got abused, and
mhm,
wouldn't let go of they didn't want to learn the lesson. They didn't want to accept that they chose that and that it happened. So that they could learn compassion, that they could learn how to be a strong person and stand up to evil, or
Right.
whatever the lesson was that they were trying to choose. That definitely was something that I noticed was very hard for people that had been abused in some way.
It is
Yeah.
because pain is like an anchor point. It's hard to not keep repeating that pattern, but it's not impossible because
It's not, but I want people to really realize, if you've never been happy, happy is going to be uncomfortable because you've never been
that,
happy.
yeah, that's profound. People don't
Okay?
get that at all. It's like
No.
you're
And
not
I that's why
enjoy it.
it's coming to me, because how are you going to be happy if you've never been happy? It's uncomfortable. So some people sabotage themselves
Well,
purposefully.
because they're used to being
Do
miserable.
not exactly.
Mhm.
Comfortable is drama.
Yeah,
Comfortable is being in the victimhood. That's comfortable for them.
yeah.
So for them, they're like, "Well, I'm never happy." Well, yeah, that's because you don't know how.
Right. That
So
habitual nature that we have as humans to just
yeah,
make something a habit and become used to something is like a
yeah,
pain in the butt because we can get used to anything. We can get used to being slaves through 300 years of slavery. Like you can get used to just being in a miserable situation and like never be like, oh, wait, I can stop this whenever I want to stop this and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to play this game anymore just because it sucks.
yeah. It's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable,
Do I
but
deserve to be happy?
it,
Yeah, a lot of
yeah,
people don't.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I
So
I did that. I still do that with myself. Like I don't deserve to be comfortably meditating and knowing that my kids are good. Like I have to be up and like watching them and keeping an eye on them. Like that's all this like stuff. Like, do I deserve this kind of inner peace? Do I choose? You know what I mean? How do
yeah,
I choose something that I don't feel like I even is offered to me? That's
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So we're working through it.
We're
We're
working through it, and I just realized we're past the time. And
Oh
usually, you
yeah,
have a
I
session
do.
right after.
I do, but I like
So
talking about this stuff.
So
Okay.
we have to run, everybody. We love you. Thank you for being here so much, and I'm sure we'll have So back again in a couple of weeks.
Okay. I love you
So
guys so much.
yay! Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.